Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Cece Pinero. Welcome to Pride Perspectives Radio Show. And this episode, we're going to focus on the reflections from the Pride of 2026 Parade and Festival that happened last weekend here in Santa Cruz. And again, my name's Cece Pinero. My pronouns are she, her. Our Pride Perspectives Radio Show is here on K-Squid every other Sunday from 5 to 6. Find all the recordings and updates on the Santa Cruz Pride website, santacruzpride.org. Rob is out tonight. He's listening to the Matthew Shepard concert that's playing up at 900 High Street. It's happening right now. And last episode, we had the couple of people from that program on. And so it's going to be a fabulous thing. It's just Pride Month, all month long here. So our show is guided by the following beliefs. We believe that Santa Cruz County is thriving partly because of the contributions of LGBTQ plus people, and LGBTQ plus people in Santa Cruz County are thriving because of the broader Santa Cruz County. We believe in the words of Jewish poet Emma Lazarus, that none of us are free until all of us are free. On this show, you will hear us refer to queer history and LGBTQ plus history. For us, these terms are interchangeable and refer to people who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, anywhere on the gender identity spectrum, and who they are attracted to. All are welcome to be part of this show. Our last show, like I was just saying a second ago, our last show featured Cheryl Anderson, David Graham, and Robbie Fitzsimmons. They each talked about their musical journeys. Robbie helped produce the Santa Cruz Pride event, Queerlantis, that took place on June 6th, and featured professional drag performer Irene the Alien, who appeared on season 10 of RuPaul All-Stars. Irene visited from Seattle and dazzled the audiences both at Queerlantis and then on the Santa Cruz Pride stage during the Pride Festival. Robbie shared how he was born making music and has not stopped since writing and performing his own music. He also said he was born singing, that his mom said he came out singing. Cheryl and David spoke about their own musical journeys. Cheryl recently retired as Cabrillo College vocal director after 35 years and is still involved in conducting choral music at Peace United Church, where they are right now performing the Matthew Shepard. She shared how her early years of teaching choral music and junior high students in Wyoming led her to bring the music production Considering Matthew Shepard to Cabrillo College in 2020. Then again to the Peace United this afternoon. The musical oratorio traces the life of Matthew Shepard, who was an out gay college student in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and was killed at the age of 21. David Graham, who was one of the leads in the presentation, recalled the experience of singing this music is spiritual. So when the show ended halfway through the run, most of us said, please, we have to do this again. And that's in quotation marks. And pointed out the show is about connection and healing. The presentation of Considering Matthew Shepard is right now being performed to a sold-out crowd, and in the past and at other events, it's been sold out to over 200 people. So it is, and I think Peace United holds over 200 people too. So, and they performed all over the world. I can't remember how many times that they performed it all over the world, but it's something. So last weekend was the 51st annual Santa Cruz Pride Parade and Festival. There were more than 70 Pride Parade entries and festival booths. The parade started at 11 a.m. with Grand Marshals Gail Pellerin, Dinah Phillips, and Gail Groves leading the parade. The parade made its way down Pacific with 3 different announcer stands sharing information about each contingent. At the end of the parade was the NorCal Pride Band, composed of high school and middle school students and musicians from 11 different schools across Santa Cruz County. Hopefully I got that right. The festival took place at the intersection of Cooper and Pacific and extended up Pacific Avenue. There was a warm, cooperative buzz that continued throughout the afternoon among all of the booths. The stage at Abbott Square featured local dance groups such as Renegade Theater Company, drag performers, and a final performance by Irene the Alien. The Locust Street stage featured a variety of DJ music and 2 aerial presentations by Cheer San Francisco, who raises money for various nonprofit causes. And Cheer San Francisco has been in our parade for years and years, since the beginning. And there's definitely been some local people who got in there too, which was great. I know Zach Davenport was a cheerleader for a while and performed, and he was somebody that went to Watsonville High. And they mentioned in here about the Grand Marshals, and the one thing that they missed, so I'm going to say it here, is that Gail Pellerin, who I marched with Gail Pellerin, I've marched with her every year. She was the county clerk, and they mentioned she was the county clerk before she became our assemblywoman. And one of the things that she did is she had to give a presentation to the County Board of Supervisors every month, and every month she would say, and one day I'm going to be able to issue gay marriage licenses. And then when the day came, she did thousands. They did thousands and thousands. There was just like thousands of people there, and photographers and everybody, all the different like County Board of Supervisors, and Mark Stone was a County Board of Supervisor then. He, was one of the officiants, because there were so many that wanted to get married. You couldn't just be Gail. She had to have all these different people, so it was really great. Anyway, they had mentioned how she handed out gay marriage license, but they didn't have that little factoid that I thought was really important, where she, was just really talked about it when she didn't have to. It's not her. It wasn't her issue. She's not a lesbian. She's, just a regular person doing her job that said, this is what's right, and I would want to be part of it, and hopefully this will happen one day, which is a really great positive way to look at things. So, well, I mentioned that band at the end of the parade, and in the past, it was the Santa Cruz High School band that ended the parade. This year, band director Christy Latham decided to broaden the Christy, we have each other's phone numbers, and I still said her name wrong. Christy Latham decided to broaden the parade band and reach out to all the middle school and high school bands in the county. The band was named the NorCal Pride Band, and they created such a wonderful sound. And I hope we get to hear them more. I hope that they get to, like during the summertime, get together and perform, and then you can charge admission and go to the Kooumba or the Civic or something, and then raise some money for band instruments or whatever you need. The person who directed the NorCal Pride Band, Christy Latham, is here with us today, and she's the band director of Santa Cruz High. And Christy, it's such a pleasure to have you join us today. So can you share a little bit about where you grew up, where you attended school, and what school was like for you?
I started out in the Bay Area as an elementary middle school kid, and then we moved to Manteca High School, and then I went to San Francisco State University, and then taught a couple different places before coming here. I graduated high school in '87, and I can easily say that when I was in high school, I didn't know any people in the LGBTQ plus family, but I did. They just weren't able to be who they were. And so now, having some of those friends as adult friends, I know who their true selves are, as opposed to their hidden selves that they were when I was in high school.
Yeah, that's really important. Just thinking about when you have to hide yourself, how would that be, especially in high school when you're developing your friendships and yourself and figuring out who you are. What was school like for you?
The best part of school for me was being in the band. When I was a freshman, we moved from the Bay Area to the Central Valley, and with a whole bunch of people that had been in school with each other since kindergarten and been friends forever. And navigating through school was really hard to make friends. But when you go to the band room, everybody's your friend, and you're included, and you're valued, and you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself. And the band is what saved me in high school and made me have a home.
That is so important, and music is the international language too. I mean, everybody loves it, and it's really important. I think music is it's certainly a language of love and caring and getting along together. I mean, and family. You found a home like that whole and music is a power greater than yourself. I agree with that. It's a power greater than me. It's like it can transport you to all kinds of different places and have it's it's like they also have studies around the music that you heard during your formative years. You're going to remember, like I grew up in the 70s, and I love that 70s music still. Like, why do I still love this? Because it was in the formative years, and that's what you heard. And I know every single word to every single song, and that's it. And it's so important how they also, have studies about how they can teach kids languages through music.
Yes.
And that's another really important thing. And I have another little teacher story where there was this point in, I would say, the 90s where the teachers were not allowed to teach Spanish unless they were designated as a bilingual classroom. So in Watsonville, there'd be kids coming in. They only heard Spanish at home. So a friend of mine, and I think it might have been first grade. It might have been first grade, and they came in the first grade, and so she just said, okay, she basically said in French, we're going to sing, and they all learned Frère Jacques, and they sang Frère Jacques, and so everybody started out in the first day of school on the same page of, we're singing, we don't know what the words mean, but nobody does, and it's okay. So, it's like, that's how you get around the man trying to make rules. Anyway, so how did you end up in Santa Cruz?
I came here to teach at Santa Cruz High. I found out about the job opening. I came and I interviewed, and my family and I moved here. My kid was 1.5 when I moved here.
Wow. That's so great.
Yeah. And they're 28 now. And they also played at the Pride event.
Oh, good.
In their band on the Abbott Square stage.
Nice. So what instruments do you play or do you like? Or
Well, to major in music, you have to play an instrument. So my major instrument's clarinet. So that's what I play the best. It's what I've practiced the most. And it's almost like breathing to play clarinet for me. But to be a music teacher, you have to learn how to play all of them. So all the brass, all the woodwinds, percussion, guitar, voice, piano, strings. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That's so good. And so how would you say you're connected to the LGBTQ plus community?
How can you not be? I mean,
that's the best answer we've heard.
I mean, and it almost doesn't matter if somebody is or isn't. You have a friend that is, and you might not have had that conversation with them, but that doesn't matter. They're a human that's in your life that's valuable, and so who they love is their business, or they can share it if they choose to. But we all are. We just don't always know it.
Yeah, that's really good. How can you not be? Especially here in Santa Cruz, for sure.
Well, if you look at the movies and you look at arts and you look at entertainment and you look at music, there's so many people who have not been able to be their genuine selves for fear of not being able to be in that movie or in that band. And there's more people in the LGBTQ plus family than we ever know, because that we have appreciated and loved. We just didn't know it.
Right. Yeah, I've talked about this before, but back in maybe the late 90s, I think it was the early 2000s, I can't remember. But anyway, there was a big poster that they were putting up in libraries that said, not all history is straight, and it had all the LGBTQ plus authors, that you would read, that people would know, and that you didn't know that they were gay, but there's a lot of them,
One of my favorite classes in college was a women's history class, and women's U.S. history, and it made me realize how much our history through our schooling is edited to be this one perspective. And so that opened a door to another perspective, and then going to school in San Francisco, and you can't help but learn some things about the LGBTQ plus folks because you're in the middle of San Francisco, and people are more out there, so you become more aware and more alert and more understanding of the struggles and the difficulties and the challenges.
Yeah. So what college did you go to?
San Francisco State.
San Francisco State. And you got your degree in music.
Yes.
Right. And I asked you.
Yeah. And my teaching credential from San Francisco. And then I started teaching in San Francisco at 5 elementaries and then South San Francisco. And then I taught in Stockton for a year. And I frankly didn't like going back to a more conservative area, so I looked for something near the coast and came to Santa Cruz because I feel like it's the best of both worlds. It's got the culture and the openness and the progressiveness of, say, San Francisco, but it's got a little bit of a slower life, and I think it was a really great place to raise my kid.
Yeah, it is a great place. It's still a great place. for sure. And then now, how did your interest in music develop? Was it always sort of there, or do you remember like a moment or?
So my great-grandfather was a folky musician from Oklahoma, and my grandmother was a classically trained piano player and taught my mom, and my mom played clarinet in her high school band. And when I was a kid, I would climb up into the attic and try to play her clarinet because I wanted to be like my mom. And so when I got to be in 4th grade and finally got to choose an instrument, I had to play the clarinet to be like my mom. So I've been playing clarinet since I was 10.
Oh, man, I got to give a shout out now to John Gallagher. I don't know if you're listening, but John, you got to make my friend here a clarinet lamp. Our buddy John Gallagher makes lamps out of musical instruments, and clarinets are certainly one of his favorite instruments to make lamps out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things, once the bug gets you and you love playing and you love how it feels, then you can't stop. It's the only thing I've never quit. I've done a million different things as a kid, dance and soccer and baseball and gymnastics and ice skating. I did all these things, and clarinet and playing in band is the one thing that just kept me going throughout the whole time. And it's something I love. There's nothing like mixing your sound with another group of people, and I continue to play myself. I play in the Cabrillo College Band on Tuesday nights just so I can sit down and play. In fact, on New Year's Day, I played in the Rose Parade as a member of a 360-member band director marching band from all over the country.
Wow.
And it was a 5-mile parade, and it was absolutely fabulous. The first rehearsal we had in a ballroom in a hotel in LA, we all start playing, and the sound is just, it's indescribable what it's like to feel inside a sound of 360 people playing at once.
Wow.
I mean, you think about all of that positive energy going in the same direction, and when it's good, it's remarkable. And I'd say that translates into what we just did this last couple weeks. When you mix all these people from different places and all their energies going in the same direction, it's remarkable, and there's no way to describe it. To describe that feeling is almost intangible. It's really hard to do, but it just feels like nothing else in the world to have that sound envelop you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's nothing like live music. I try my best to go see live music at least once a month because it's like food. Mm-hmm. It's, it's magic, it's food, and there's nothing like it. And certainly I listen to music all the time and listen to the radio, K-Squid radio, right? But live music, it really is. Yep. It really is fabulous.
Well, and I get to do that every day in my classroom.
That's so good, so good.
And the young people get to benefit from it too. I mean, there's another field of study about music therapy and sound therapy. And if you think about that sound enveloping our bodies every single day, it's therapy.
Yeah, it is. So, so you teach music therapy at Santa Cruz High. What else do you teach? Or is that
I just teach music. I don't just. I get to teach music full time.
And how long have you been the band director?
I just finished my 27th year.
Oh, geez, I think you would have said that. That's so good. That's amazing. And still going, and you're going to do that until you...
Until I retire in a few years,
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully you don't retire in a couple of years. You got still ways to go there, right? Because it's not work. If you do what you love, then it's not really work, right?
Well, some days it feels like work, but there's definitely some magical days.
Okay, so you talked about playing the Rose Parade already, and how many years do you think that Santa Cruz High Band has been playing in the Pride Parade?
Oh, I started it about 10 years ago.
Okay, so 10. Yeah. So that was your project.
Yeah. Well, I like to think of our band as being part of our community, and we're sort of integral. The community supports us, and then we support the community with our music and share that gift. We've played for the holiday parade as long as I've been around, or even longer than that. We have a Santa Cruz Band Review the third Saturday in October, where 55 bands come from all over Northern California and parade. They used to go through town. Now it's contained at the boardwalk. And anytime we have an opportunity to play for the community and give back to the community that supports us, I think is really valuable. And I'd known of the Pride Parade, and honestly, I was a little bit scared to have the school band go and play because I wasn't sure how the families felt or the students felt, and I wasn't sure if I would get any backlash because parents like to tell teachers what they do wrong.
Right.
So I finally decided to just do it and say it didn't matter. And if I had less kids in the band and we had a smaller band and parents complained, I'd say, okay, fine, don't come.
Right.
If you don't want to come, don't come. I only want people that are happy there anyway. So, I sent out that first email and I've gotten nothing but positive. The families were supportive. The students were supportive. The community, the first time we did the parade, there were people in tears, but they were happy tears. So happy that there was a school band there and that there were students there that could express who they are. And I've been coaching the kids ever since that marching in the parade doesn't mean you're gay or queer. It just means you're an ally, if that's who you are. Or if you are in the LGBTQ plus family, that means you get to celebrate who you are.
Yeah.
And that's a day for you. But, the students that are straight or get to just show that they're allyship, and that's just as powerful and strong. And I'm an ally, and I think there's tremendous value in supporting people being who they are.
Well, allies are very important. I have a friend that was an ally that ended up writing some of the first AIDS curriculum for Houghton Mifflin, which is a publishing company that publishes educational books, and it was allies who were doing this. It's like because it was important, right? And there's many other ally stories that with like our motto, none of us are free till all of us are free, and we all have to work on these things together, for sure. So.
Well, and no human is free of judgment. And as soon as we're free of judgment from ourselves or others, we can live freer and breathe easier.
Yeah, exactly. So you've kind of already answered all my questions about why is the Pride Parade important to you, and do you think how do you think it's important to the students, or have they said anything about how important it is to them?
The students haven't said directly that it's very important to them, but they show it by showing up. The parade happens after school's out. So they're not in school. It's not a graded performance. Most of our performances during the school year have a grade attached. And, if they don't come, they have to do some sort of makeup assignment. But the Pride Parade is the one that's not graded. It's completely volunteer. And it's after school gets out.
Yeah.
So if they're showing up, then it means something.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the
best. That's it. Just by showing up, that's what we do at all of our protests too. Everybody, right?
Right.
So show up. I don't know if you answered, but what caused you to broaden, and how did you get that idea to broaden the parade, the students in the parade, and change that whole thing from Santa Cruz High to this new? And how did you come up with that name?
It took me a little bit to come up with the name, but last year we have a new person who's teaching at Branciforte and Mission Hill Middle Schools, and his name is Ryan Orbelin, and he is fantastic. The kids adore him, and he's been a great co-teacher for the last couple of years. We collaborate on different events, and we'll get together for our spring concert and do a mass band piece. And I said, you guys should do the Pride Parade because they do the holiday parade already. And I said, you should have some kids, see if any of your kids want to do this. And then as we were sitting in my office talking, I thought, well, let's open up to the whole district and offer it to everybody, all the middle schools and high schools in the district. And then I went home, and my kid has been a substitute teacher in the county and has done a lot of work in the Watsonville area. And I know the band director at Pajaro Valley High School. His name is Reed Alanese. And he's doing a fabulous job there. He's got a band program of 60 or 70 kids, and I've worked with them a couple times, and they're just fabulous. And I wanted to include the PV kids too, because he's doing such a great job there. And then I thought, well, let's just do the whole county. Instead of just Reed, let's just open it up. And if we get one kid from every school, that would be fabulous. If we got at least one being brave enough to pop out of their school bubble and their band bubble and to join us, then maybe next year it grows a little bit. And so I emailed every band director in the county and eventually got most of the schools represented. But then I was talking to a girlfriend who teaches at Lincoln High School in Stockton Unified. And she said, I want to bring some of my kids. And I said, okay. So I sent her the email with all the information. And I was telling another friend who teaches at Armio High School in Fairfield, and she said, I want to bring some of my kids. And I said, okay. So I sent her the email. And then another friend who teaches at Del Mar High School in Campbell, and he said, I want to send my kids. And so I called it the NorCal Pride Band instead of the Santa Cruz County Pride Band, because then there's the potential to open it up to kids outside of our county, because not everybody lives in a county that's friendly to them.
Right. That's so important.
So we called it the NorCal so we could include other people. I'm currently serving as the president of the Northern California Band Association, and next year I'm going to open it up to all the bands who participate in NCBA, which is about 120 bands.
Wow. And then how do you pick the music? Or
We've been playing the same song for a couple of years.
Okay.
And so we just keep it because it works so well. We're playing We Are Family by Sly and the Family Stone.
There you go.
And it's also kind of a unofficial anthem of the LGBTQ plus family, because we don't always get to choose our families, and sometimes we have to have chosen families to have ones that accept us.
Yes, that's important too. And of course, I have a chosen family story since we have a couple minutes here. So when my daughter, who I said earlier went to Santa Cruz High, when she was 15, I told her, well, before that, I said, you have your biological family, your grandma, your grandpa, you have cousins, but also you can choose your family. You have chosen family. I'm like, and here's somebody that I've chosen as one of my family members, right? Here's his Uncle Jerry, this is Aunt so-and-so. And so I'd like to say 5 minutes later, but it wasn't, maybe a couple months later, she comes home with a foreign exchange student and said, Mom, this is my new sister and she's going to live with us now. I chose her. And I made this sound like Homer Simpson. And then we had a foreign exchange student, and I loved it, and it was amazing, and she was my daughter's sister. My daughter got to travel, and then we went to visit her, and she lives in New Mexico, and she met this, she met a guy and got married, and we went to visit them, and his parents took us out and thanked me for raising such a good kid. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm just a foreign exchange student, Mom. I just came by this. I just happened to be along for the ride here, letting my daughter choose. And they're like, but you allowed her to be here, and she wouldn't be able to be here if you weren't here hosting her. I'm like, well, thank you so much. But it really is important. You can choose your family, and you never know what's going to happen. I got a free breakfast out of it. It's pretty good.
So that song encompasses that ideal that we are all family if we choose to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just have to be open-hearted enough to be so.
Yeah, exactly. So good. So, and most of the other bands all around, that's a regular song bands learn to play.
No, I don't know if they learned it before I sent it to them, but I shared the music with all of them. And the drum cadence that we played, we played We Are Family and then a drum cadence. The drum cadence was written by Avery Aday, who just graduated. And Sally Gray's his grandma and does a show here on K-Squid.
All right. Very good. See, we are all family and we're all connected. Public radio, the last bastion of free speech. Here we are. Yeah. Keep donating.
So I shared digital copies. Yes, please do so. I shared digital copies of the music with all the folks who were interested. We had kids from San Lorenzo Valley High School and Middle School. Their high school and middle school are connected. Scotts Valley High School, Harbor, Pajaro Valley, Branciforte, Mission Hill, Santa Cruz, Armio High School in Fairfield, and Del Mar High School in Campbell.
Wow. Thanks so much, Christy. You're listening to Pride Perspectives radio show, and you're going to hear the sounds from the Santa Cruz Pride events and parade. Welcome back to Pride Perspectives radio show. We are talking with Santa Cruz High Band Director Christy Latham, and happy to also have in our studio Joaquin Fitzsimmons. Welcome, Joaquin.
Hello.
Joaquin, can you share a little bit about where you grew up and where you attended school?
Yeah, well, I was born here in Santa Cruz. I've lived here all my life, and I attended Santa Cruz High School, and then before that, Mission Hill, and then Bayview before that.
Awesome. And I think you just graduated from Santa Cruz High, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what's next for you?
Well, I'll be heading out next school year to go to the University of Oregon. I'll be studying political
Yay.
science. So that'll be fun, I think.
Is that the Ducks?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
You can't see it, but his shoes are Oregon themed.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter lives in Oregon, and my grandson almost went to Oregon State. That's a great school. Anyway, how would you say you're connected to the LGBTQ plus community?
I mean, so many people that I know are members of the community. I think my closest friends, my best friend, is bi. One of my other good friends, non-binary. Really, everybody that I know is a member of the community in some way, and everybody is really just connected in that community. So many of the social connections that we build are, even if you don't know, a lot of people will be members of the community, and you are able to form really strong friendships with such people. Yeah,
see, and I think that's really a great attribute of Santa Cruz. Like, not all places are like that to grow up and feel like this is like, you can't not be connected, like Christy said. So how did you get involved with the Santa Cruz High School band?
Well, I've been in band since I was in 4th grade. So with each new band and new school, I continued to join. And I first joined in 4th grade because my grandfather's or my great-grandfather's in a band, my uncle's in a band, and really when the high school does a thing where they go to the elementary school and play for them, and I remember thinking that, wow, that's really cool. I want to do that. So, joined the band in 4th grade, and really since then I've been in it ever since.
That is so cool that they have band in 4th grade. And what instrument did you first play?
I played trumpet, and I continue to play trumpet all throughout school, and I will continue to play trumpet in high school as well.
College.
College.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's next.
Yes.
Great. Very good. And
you can look for him whenever you see the Ducks play.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, I will.
Be in their halftime shows.
Yeah. Awesome. So, and how long have you been a drum major?
Well, I was head drum major for just this year, but I've been I was assistant drum major for 2 years before that, and 1 year before that, I just kind of started getting into it and learning the ropes and figuring out how to conduct, to spin, and do a lot of things as needed from the drum major.
Yeah. So, what was that process like, and how did you learn how to do that? Like, what does a drum major actually have to do? So you have to conduct.
Conducting is one portion of that, and really leading the band on parades, calling off the band, making sure everyone has a consistent tempo and starting and stopping at the same time. You're also, right before we're going, really getting everyone into lines and ranks and really just coordinating the entire group of a lot of people. Yeah.
You correct me if I'm wrong in my vocabulary, but now, do you have a baton? Is it called a baton, or is it called something else?
I have a mace, which is pretty much just a bigger baton.
Yeah.
Depending on the school, they'll either do a baton or mace. Yeah.
Okay, mace. See, I learned a new word. Very good. And so you use that to sort of conduct with? You use that as a tempo?
Yeah, there's something called beating of time,
yeah.
Which you, through using it and walking, and you put the mace up and down to the certain beats of the song, and that accompanied by what you call off the band to the tempo is going to get everyone to the same pulse and step throughout the entirety of the performance. That's
a very cool skill, too. Very good. That's great. You put that on your college resume, I hope. Huh? Yeah. So, yeah, now I watched your video because Rob told me to watch a video, which I did. I didn't get that with you, but see, now I get to meet you in person. It was really cool. I watched your video of you conducting Santa Cruz High Band in red kilts. Is there a story behind that, or is that the standard dress for a drum major?
Well, every school will have different styles. So for more American styles, you won't be seeing the kilts, obviously, but we're going for the Scottish style. And I mean, that goes back to all the Scottish traditions. And there is like basis with Scottish heritage here in Santa Cruz County. I mean, you have Ben Lomond, like Loch Lomond, like Scots Valley. There's already that immigrant presence here, and so we, as a school, leaned into that when we switched to that style. And really just to embody that, kilts is just a necessary part of the Scottish style.
I love it. That's really cool. That's very good. That's very neat. So also, you have almost 32,000 people who subscribe to your YouTube account. How did you develop such a following?
I wish I could have a good answer. I really don't know. That's the honest answer. I kind of started off as it started out of necessity for online competitions. You need to submit through a YouTube link. So, I was like, all right, I'll post it and I'll make it public because I can. And it's cool so that other people can look at it if they want to. No one will. And I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, okay, sure. I'll post like something here or there. And they get like 5, 10 views. Maybe they got to like 100. I'm like, oh, wow, that's a lot. And then I post one. And then I'm like, looking the next day and it's like 23,000. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And the number just keeps going up. And it goes to like, I think it's at like 14 million views now. And
what was the first thing that you posted, and how long was it? And do you keep track of like which one gets the most like likes or comments or anything? And is there any specific comments that has been supportive or helpful or inspired you to do different kinds of posts?
I mean, well, it started off as like those solo competitions for that online competition. And it kind of branched off to me. I also participate in like local Highland games. There's one at Pleasanton as well as in Woodland that I compete at. And, you have a lot of footage from that. Footage is also great to see what you need to improve on. I mean, it's a visual performing art. Being able to be critical of yourself when you can look through a video, for better or for worse, be critical, but, get better at it. So you have a lot of footage of that. And I was like, oh, okay, why not? I'll post it here. It'd be kind of fun. Every kid, I think, to a certain extent, growing up with the technology has been like, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up. So everyone's like, oh, sure, why not? I'll post a video. Sure, it'll be fun. So I posted clips of Scottish games. I have one in Woodland from that specifically took off. And, yeah, you get a lot of people that are just, like, both impressed, people who are really into like pipes, bagpipes and drums and pipe bands, and really into that aspect of Scottish and Celtic history. And
everybody
really
loves Outlander, and the new Blood
Outlander,
by Blood is out.
Braveheart,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just definitely a very interesting part of the world, and being able to do stuff from that.
And there was recently a drum major featured in one of the FIFA World Cup games.
Yeah.
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 Oh.
And, yeah, he's a colleague of Joaquin's.
Yeah.
Wow.
They've competed together.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've met with him. I compete against him. He beats me, obviously, because he's quite good. In case
and Joaquin is fantastic,
FIFA.
and he has some championship titles himself. But Zach is definitely one of those kids that's incredible.
Yeah. Wow.
Another level. For sure.
Another level. Well, you'll get there.
We'll see. We'll see.
You're next. So how was being part of the Santa Cruz High Band program, how has that been important to you?
I mean, really the sense of community that you're able to build there is really like no other. Being with a lot of like-minded folks and immediately going into high school having, all right, I have 80 or 90 people who are going to have a place that can accept you is really valuable. You always know that no matter what, you'll be able to find someone you can talk to in band. And that's really, to me, what was so important about both the program and for me going into it.
Very good. How many years have you been involved with the band and playing in the Santa Cruz Pride Parade, particularly?
Pride Parade, all 4 years of high school. And then, like I said before, since 4th grade, I've been doing just regular band work. Marching band, though, is definitely more special at high school. We do a little bit in middle school for, like, the parades, like a holiday parade and whatnot. But definitely, high school is where you definitely are doing it more competitively for the band reviews and competitions all across Northern California.
So why is playing in the Pride Parade important to you?
Well, Pride Parade as well as like the holiday parade, but Pride Parade more so is really special because you're playing for people. Like you're playing for a community and people are excited to see you. People are happy. You're able to have so much energy that you really just don't see anywhere else. You're playing solely for the purpose of enjoyment. You're not playing to get a good score, to beat another band. You're really just playing to have fun, to be supportive of both the people that you're playing with and playing for.
That's so important. That's really important in, our growth as humans, and especially going off to college and into a whole other realm of education and what that's going to be like for you.
Mm-hmm.
So then this year the band expanded to other schools and band members. And how did this work for you? And how many hours of rehearsal did you guys have to put in for that?
I mean, music is going to be pretty much the same everywhere. So if everyone has the music, it actually wasn't that hard to gain a lot more members, because you're able to practice a piece of music on your own and you're able to fit in even if you don't practice with a lot of other people just by doing the work yourself. I mean, it only took us about 6 hours, not even that.
3.
Well, 3-day practices.
Yeah, we had 2 practices on Tuesday and Thursday, and folks could choose one or the other based on their schedule, and the rehearsals were an hour and a half, and then we practiced about 45 minutes on the morning of the parade.
Mm-hmm. So really, it's music is
Maybe
interesting
4
like
hours.
that you can definitely just kind of really connect and click in ways that you really can't with a lot of other things.
And I know this is going to be a silly question, but, why do you think that you're so passionate about being part of this band program and being part of the NorCal Pride Band? Do you have can you give any example of what, I know the question, why are you so passionate? I don't know. It seems like a hard question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
I mean, it's just a lot of like-minded folks you have in there that you're able to connect with people who share the exact same interest with you. I mean, through band, I can have friends that are more into jazz, and I can talk about jazz with them, or more into marches or spinning or drum major things, and you're able to find people who are into these niches that you really, and really passionate about them as well, and being able to be passionate about something with other people and connect with the community as well is amazing.
Oh, I think you said it, a passionate connection, with other people, because you can relate when somebody says, "Hey, I love jazz," and you play a different genre of music, but you're like, "I understand that link," and how I can see how you could be passionate about that because I'm passionate about this thing. That's really, really important because it really connects you with other people, or connects all of us with other. Once we're connected, then there is no other. Mm-hmm. We're all in this together. So Christy and Joaquin, any final words you would like to share about your music or band program?
One of the thoughts that came to mind when you were just talking now is I've worked really hard to create what I think of as a well-rounded music program. We have an incredible jazz band, so we have students who are super passionate about jazz and even just kind of like playing jazz, and it just feels good to play. And then we have our pep band when we go play at football games, and we'll play pop tunes, and we play current hits, and we play old hits and things that you might have heard on the radio in the 70s or 80s or 90s. And then we also play serious classical music as well. And some of our classical music touches on things that are really important to humanity and the heart of what it is to be human.
Like, can you give me an example?
Oh, gosh. There's so many things. I would say one of the things that we played when Joaquin was a freshman, I believe, is called Requiem for the Unarmed. And it was the year before you were a freshman? Yeah. And it was about the George Floyd murder.
Oh.
And it was a piece of music that was written in tribute to that situation, to bring awareness and understanding. And that piece felt significant and heavy and difficult and all the things that you can imagine it to be. And what felt really special about it is I was part of a consortium, so we paid money into this to get the composer to write it. And there were other bands in the state of California. It was commissioned by the California Band Directors Association. There's other people who weren't allowed to perform it because their communities wouldn't let them.
Wow.
And I got no protest from our community for playing this piece. And I have colleagues in the Valley who couldn't play it.
Wow, that is tragic. And when was this? Just, what,
It's 5
a couple
years ago. I
years?
think it was when
5
Joaquin
years
was
ago.
grade, yeah.
Yeah, 5 years ago. Well, we
Yeah.
still have a long ways to go.
Yeah.
And that's so important because music can be that bridge,
So
And-
we've played a bunch of different pieces that have different themes about humanity and human rights. And I don't believe human rights should be political. I think that you should be able to exist as who you are. So I don't feel like it's bringing politics into my classroom. It's bringing in what it means to be human and the value of every human.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's unfortunate that, I don't know, some people or some parts of society has politicized so many things that don't need to be.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like, so they politicized this thing about George Floyd and didn't allow people to play the music.
Correct.
See, that's...
Well, and even just recently, there's a piece about Martha P. Johnson and the Stonewall riots, Mother of a Revolution. And there was a band in Wisconsin who was blocked from playing it by their school board. And that was this year. That was like a month ago. Their school board would not allow them to play it. And they banned them from playing the piece. And the teacher got permission to play it from his principal in the fall and went through all the things and got the literature cleared. I'm so glad I don't have to clear literature with my school board. They just believe in me and support me. But they banned this band from playing it, so much so that that went viral on social media. Omar Thomas, the composer of the piece, came to that town and conducted them at a different place because they weren't allowed to perform it in their spring concert. And then they weren't allowed to use school instruments, so people donated over $100,000 to this school so they could have instruments to play it with Omar Thomas conducting it.
Wow.
Because they decided that the band should not be able to play this music because thinking about it somehow is dangerous. In fact, they got more attention because...
Right.
So, and even I donated to them to be able to support them because this director was just trying to play a piece of music that was creating a conversation.
Right.
And it did.
Wow.
It blew up. It went viral. Yeah.
Wow. That's such an amazing story and a great little story to sort of end on here. And any last words from you, Joaquin?
Well, I'll say that to build off kind of what you're saying initially with the inclusivity and the community we have. One thing I like to and it kind of also goes off how music is connecting us, is we have one band at Santa Cruz High, and that means that people who are just getting into it, people who have ranging from 9+ years, 10+ years to 0 years of experience, are able to come together, and we're able to build them through the same band program. They're the same people who are going with us to all the competitions, to everything, and so. Really, and if you're having places like communities like that where you're able to be together, play pieces like Mother of a Revolution or others like that, and not have to have that prerequisite knowledge, skill set, you don't need that, which is really important.
That's really important information for all the young freshmen coming into Santa Cruz High. You heard it here. You don't have to have any experience to love music or to learn music, just a desire to try. And there's lots of people to support you and help you all along the way and figure out which instrument you would like, or your voice or drums or whatever the instrument is. There's so many, cowbell. There's plenty of instruments for everybody could do it. Everybody can participate, So, well, on behalf of Santa Cruz Pride and our entire Santa Cruz County community, thank you both and all of your bands, all of the musicians in your band for sharing the musical joy that you shared in the Pride Parade and across our county. Really, thank you a lot. And we've got some upcoming events. Saturday, June 27th will be Monterey Peninsula Pride, the last Sunday of June. We hope to see you there. You'll find all of our info on the website at santacruzpride.org. Thanks again for listening to Pride Perspectives, Conversations, and Stories to celebrate the LGBTQ plus community and history across Santa Cruz and Monterey counties. I have a few quotes. We always end with a couple of quotes. And The first one's from Harvey Milk that he said, "You got to give them hope. Hope will never be silent." And then Cassandra Duffy, who is an author of fantasy novels, said, "The beauty of standing up for your rights is others will see you standing and stand up as well." And that's, that leads, we were talking about allies earlier. So, and then Jason Collins, who was the gay pro basketball player, said, "Openness may not completely disarm prejudice, but it's a good place to start." And then our old-timer Billie Jean King, "The more people know about you, the less they can hate you." And let's see. And then Audre Lorde, who is one of our local poet laureates, said, "We're powerful because we have survived." And I guess one last one from Harvey Milk again. "It takes no compromise to give people their rights. It takes no money to respect the individual." So that's the end of our quotes, and that's the end of our show. And thank you so much for listening to Pride Perspectives. To close out our show tonight, we're going to hear from the K-Squid on the Street by Suki Westling, who talked around the Santa Cruz Pride Parade festivities, asking the question, what do you take pride in about K-Squid and community radio?
This is your Squid on the Street, Suki Westling of the Babbleree. I was live on the street at Santa Cruz Pride 2026.
Community radio is where the community's voices get to be heard and where the truth gets told. And in an era of corporate-owned media, where we're spoon-fed neoliberal news, we rely on community radio to give us a sense of what's really going on the ground, whether it's here in Santa Cruz, whether it's in Gaza, whether it's anywhere in the world. If it wasn't for community radio, we would be stuck with only corporate profiting news outlets, which would not tell us the truth about what's going on, whether it's affordable housing, whether it's what's going on for our queer rights. Plus, KSQD has the best music, and we love you guys.
My favorite thing about community radio, of course, is just that it's connected to the local community by folks in the local community. So I feel like it's the most credible, most direct way to get our local news.
What I love about the community stations is just having more choices in terms of music and programs. I also like having local feedback when it comes to news and traffic and so on, and not having it just canned from wherever.
I like hearing a different voice than what's something that's more unique and gives different opinions than other stations.
I like community radio because it talks about stories that are local and how what's going on around us that impacts our community and how it impacts my neighbors and myself and my family. So for me, community radio is a good outlet to get that information from.
I appreciate community radio because it's usually representing the locals, the local population. You guys are probably in tune with all the actual events that are taking place locally, and we need to support our local community. I'm anti-corporation stuff. I don't like the messaging that comes out of that, but I really appreciate what we do in the local community here.
I feel like that's what radio is. It's community. It brings people together. It shares about what's going on in the area in a way that other radio cannot do. It binds us, and it's free, which is so important. I did a stint in corporate radio. I had a morning show on a major FM station, and it was fine, but it's not the same. You know, it's all finance-driven, making money, and community radio is not about that. Obviously, they have to stay alive, obviously, but, it's about really serving the community.
I love community radio because you get to hear voices from all kinds of different people, and I'm always amazed at the wealth of knowledge about music that people have around here.